Hello everyone, welcome back to Nora's Vine. I'm Nora Vineyard and today I'm going to be answering a few questions about acting and performing. Have you ever been in a play / had a role that you really didn't like? Yes, I have actually. Both same show. I was in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and first off, I don't really like the CS Narnia series. It's just never been very interesting to me. I know a lot of people love it. I was not a big fan. I read the story just to audition, just to get a background of what the characters were like and what the story was really like, so I could get into the roles and be prepared in case, you know, I was cast as something other than what I wanted to be. I knew how to play that in auditions, and just to know the story. It's really good to know the story. Anyway, so I don't really like the story, but I auditioned anyway because I'd been in theater for many years and I thought, you know, it'd be a good experience. I auditioned for The White Witch and Susan, and I got Witch's Army, which is a little different than not only what I was going for in that play, but anything that I'd ever really played before. And I tried so hard to make it a likable character and to like give it lots of background and have little interesting snippets about it, but it was kind of a grueling experience. I was a gruel, so I guess, you know, it works, but oh, it was rough. I played Witch's Army member. I had all this crazy makeup, and you know, you have to growl and sound mean and have all these crazy movements that I'm not a very physical actor. And then I did this head thing, which was, you know, annoying, scary, but weird and annoying. None of my family recognized me when I came out of the theater, because it was so different from me, from anything I would play, from anything I'd be cast as. Completely different, and it just didn't sit well with me. One of the things that was nice about it, I guess, was, you know, I love being background characters generally, not more than being a lead, but I do love an aspect of it because you're not focused on getting the lines memorized and getting into that character and how other people played it and how to work off your partner and all that. You really get to focus on the background character and write like your own plot line, your own story for this character that you get to play, and it's yours completely. I mean, when I was playing June in Oklahoma, she just had June, so I got to come up with her last name, who she was married to, how many children she had, all of her hobbies, what her exact relationship was with each other background character, and how she knew Lori and everything, because I could spend so much time on that. And same thing with the Gruel and the reindeer. I actually played 3 characters in Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe: a Gruel, the reindeer that pulled the sleigh, and a statue. And so I had tons of time to come up with this great elaborate background story, and it really made me understand what's so neat about playing background characters. So that part was nice, but the actual characters that I played and the show I did not enjoy. What is your favorite character archetype to play? Antagonist. Yeah. So I just fit with them more. I like their characters. I just, you know, I understand them better, and so I understand the motives behind them and why they're driven to do the things that they do, more than villains. And I think villains can be fun for a lot of people, and you know, that's great. I've played evil queens and stuff before, but it just doesn't fit as well with me, and I have a trouble getting into the character because I think it's just because I don't really understand the motives for doing those things. I love comedic sidekicks. I think they're hilarious and I love watching them. I'm not physical enough or inventive enough with my features and my voice as of yet to play really any. It could be because, you know, I stand very straightly, and I'm very, you know, I just hold myself with kind of a poise and elegance that's not, you know, exactly Mrs. Dilba from A Christmas Carol. And so, you know, pros and cons. But yeah, I love protagonists and ingenue characters and those characters. What is your secret to getting roles? I don't hold the key to the mint of getting roles, but I have had a lot of lessons and a lot of experience in parts of theater, which might be beneficial in auditioning and getting the role that you want. So some of my advice when you're auditioning, make sure you are very cooperative, just a likable person who, you know, the director wants to work with. The director wants a cast that can work well together and can work with them. And so they want to see that they can direct you and that, you know, you get along well with others, not just that you can play a certain part well. And another thing is, you know, you can go in, you know, wanting a part and pushing to get that part, and you may get it, you may not, but do be flexible in, you know, trying out other parts. So like when I was going into audition for A Christmas Carol, I was going out for Belle and Mrs. Cratchit, which is of course going to be a very different type of role than one of the urchins or Mrs. Dilber, who's, you know, a Cockney washerwoman. And the director asked, can you try Mrs. Dilber? So, you know, you want to, you know, be flexible, and you know, it might not work out like they want it, but they see something in you and they want to see if you can try something else. And it may not fit you, it may, but just be flexible and work with them. So, you know, I went and did my Cockney accent, and I kind of hunched over a little bit and just went with it. So, you know, you wanna give those things to them and let them see what you can do, and at least that you're easy to work with and you're willing to try something. Because no one likes a difficult person to work with. So that is a big thing that I think has allowed me to be cast in a lot more things, because I show just from auditions that I'm an easy person to work with. I'm willing to try new things, and you know, I want this show to be good and their vision to come to life on stage. So I'm willing to work with them to make that happen. Another thing when auditioning is, if you are going for a certain role, do dress up and wear a little something. I'm an assistant intern director for Beauty and the Beast with this company, and you know, the girls who were going out for Belle, they wore just a simple blue dress. You don't want to do her whole, you know, costume with an apron and full makeup, and no, don't do any of that. But you can just wear like a simple color up the character, or you know, put a bow in your hair if they wear a bow, or you know, just very subtle things like that. It does help the director see you in that role. Prepare really well. So you know, not only should you of course have a monologue and song and whatever the audition materials you need memorized and know the background to those as well, but you should know the play that you're auditioning for and the character or characters that you're auditioning for really well as well. So do some background research, watch a movie if there's one, do, you know, research into the time period, into what people behaved like, what the accents would be like, just lots of things. Watch a movie if there, yeah, I said watch a movie if there's a book, like for The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, I said I read the whole Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe book by C.S. Lewis to prepare for the role, so that I knew the story, so I kind of knew the characters, and the director sees that. They see that you're prepared and you know the story and you're ready to tell this story, and it just gives you, I mean, it just prepares you so much more because you have so much more understanding about the story and the character and what's trying to be portrayed, so you show that in your acting. To go along with that, when you know the story so well, you can pick songs and monologues that are going to reflect the type of story and the character that you're trying to go for, or you're trying to get in the play. So if I were to audition for Hello Dolly, let's say, and I'm going for Irene, the hat shop lady, you know, she's about my age, she's, you know, has a soprano, she's a soprano, so she fits my vocal range, and you know, she kind of looks like me. Like I could play her potentially to director. So that's 2 things down. Now I want to show her that I can portray that type of character. So I might pick a song from The Good Old Summertime or Meet Me in St. Louis, or something kind of that period that portrays some of those things. The Boy Next Door from Meet Me in St. Louis was one of my options to sing because it sounds a little like Ribbons Down My Back, which is her feature song in Hello Dolly. So, you know, things like that will show the director, you know, I'm going kind of for this role, and this is what I can play well, but it's not direct. It's just hinting in that direction. All right, lastly on getting roles would be resume and headshot. So you'll want a very professional, well laid out resume that, you know, has all the information, not too much, but is very truthful and shows the directors what they want to know, and it's not just little tidbits. It should be well laid out, very professional resume, like you're applying to a job, or because you're applying to be in the show and getting a role. So, you know, reflect that in your resume. And then of course headshots. I've actually heard 2 very differing opinions on headshots from 2 different directors of mine, both who I respect greatly. One of them is a kind of off-Broadway actor. He made it reasonably big, and you know, came back and started teaching here in my town, and he said he did a whole presentation on how to do your headshots when I was in his drama class, and he said even if you're a female, you know, very minimal, no makeup even, like hair completely back, no earrings, no jewelry, just simply you. And he said you'll want to have this as your headshot so that directors who see you can imagine you in any role. My other director, also very high up, but a female, said that she would do a little makeup. She'd do like some lipstick and just natural, just highlighting your natural features to make you pop a little more. And so directors look at that and they go, oh, you know, that pops on stage and it's not so blank. And I will say I've done both, and there's not been any huge difference, mainly just because I think mostly because I haven't auditioned for tons and tons of things. But I prefer the pop a little more, and I think I would do that more for traditional community theater, where they are looking at you and they see your face and they go, oh, I remember her. She looks like she did there. She would pop on stage. You know, it'll make you stand out a little more in the crowds. And if you're trying for something where you just really want any role in the production and you're just going for it and they just have a nice normal plain headshot. All right, sorry, that one went on for a long time, but it's important to know how to audition. So hopefully you found it helpful. Next question is, how do you keep from getting nervous? I haven't nailed it yet. I still get nervous when I'm really excited for something, but I've noticed the more prepared I am and the more I practice at home doing the same thing that I'm going to do in an audition, the less I'm nervous when I'm there. You know, do a faux audition and just, you know, even like stepping outside of the room and then coming in and introducing yourself and then doing your monologue and song really prepares you for what you're going to be doing in the room. And I've been much less nervous. Really preparing yourself for the audition, just like you would, you know, 3 months of rehearsals into a show. Like the last 2 shows I did, I was rehearsing for 3 months. I put tons of effort into the roles. I was really intent on practicing and getting everything down. And so when I went on stage, I was not nervous at all for any of the performances. And I mean, I performed and I had fun and I was engaged in every performance and every show, and it went beautifully. And I think that was because of how prepared I was. Another way is to think about nerves as excitement. I'm always really excited to audition for a play, and sometimes that can just key into the nervousness. So if I just move it over and just think of it, I'm just really excited for this part and focusing on the positives instead of, oh gosh, what if I don't get it? What if I mess up? What if I, you know, skip the song? What if something happens? What if the music doesn't work? All things that have happened on auditions and will happen, but don't dwell on the negative. That will lead to nervousness and not doing well in an audition. If you're focusing on the positive and have a light air about you, you're much more likely to succeed in auditions and not be as nervous. What has been your favorite role? I've played a lot of roles that I adore. I've loved playing. One of them being Mrs. Cratchit, which in A Christmas Carol, which I just finished performing in. I think my favorite role, though, would be Mrs. McAfee from Bye Bye Birdie. She was a fun, crazy mother of 2 kids in the 50s, and she has, you know, a husband who's not very thrilled about their daughter finding love and kissing Bye Bye Birdie, or kissing Birdie, Conrad Birdie, and marrying Hugo and all this crazy stuff. It's just, it was crazy, and her life was hectic, and she had so many fun little parts and so much opportunity to act in the background, just, you know, listening to gossip and setting the table and wanting, you know, Conrad Birdie to have a really great stay and breakfast and trying to keep her husband alive. I mean, there was just so much to her character, and it was really, really fun to play her. So I love playing Mrs. McAfee. Doris McAfee, as it were. What is your dream role? Well, I have a lot of dream roles for film. I would love, like, really one of my biggest dreams is to play a double role, actually, in like a rewrite or production of The Princess and the Pauper, kind of like Barbie Princess and the Pauper, but more to the original storyline of Mark Twain's Prince and the Pauper, the original book. I would love to play that part, and I'm kind of started like writing a script for it and everything, but it's a little far-fetched in the realm of possibilities. What's a little closer is I would really, really love to play Fiona from Brigadoon, which is one of my all-time favorite musicals, in a like reproduction, kind of like they redid West Side Story, with, you know, still paying homage to the original musical, but improving it in ways and bringing it back to the popular culture and the modern culture. I would really love to do that with Brigadoon. I thought, you know, Sid Charisse and Gene Kelly were phenomenal actors, but I thought the way the movie was done, you know, the costumes could have been a little more accurate, and you know, the dances, I wish there were more, you know, like Scottish dancing in them, because it was such a big part of their culture, and it just really wasn't in the movie. It was kind of just all regular 50s dancing. I think there could be some amazing group numbers, like McConaughey Square, and like everyone just dancing, and I think there could be some really fun opportunities to do with that movie. I would also, and this is the main reason I would love to redo that movie, is I would love it to be filmed in Scotland. I mean, you have this beautiful set, this dreamy, imaginary land in one of the most beautiful countries in the world to me, and they did it in this like little cardboard box. I mean, they had literal like cardboard rocks holding down sheep on strings, and the grass wasn't real, and the sets were like just literally cardboard pop-outs. I mean, something you'd put in the background of a kids theater or a community theater production, like what they did for the Pirates, the Pirates of Penzance, you know, when they actually did like and they had intention with that, with it being like an opera set where they're just on stage, and these are like stage sets. In Brigadoon, it wasn't like that, and it just felt like, for a movie that could have potential to be on this beautiful setting in Scotland. They've done other things in Scotland, like Happy Go Lovely was set in Edinburgh. They actually filmed in Edinburgh. I mean, I know it would be expensive, but they had like Gene Kelly and Sid Charisse, and you would just think they would put a little more effort into at least making the sets look real. But yeah, anyway, I would love to play Fiona. I would love to do Rigadoon the musical, and I would love for it to be set in actual Scotland, because I think it could just be improved upon so much just having it in its actual setting. But yeah, so those are some of the dream roles that I would love to play. I would also really love to play Babe Williams in The Pajama Game. Alright, that is all I have for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time on Nora's Vine.